Welcome, one and all, to another episode of Spooktober Movie Review for 2024 here on Dave's Dungeon. I am, as always, your host, the one, the only, Dungeon Master Dave. Sorry about this episode being delayed. I snuck away to do something and didn't realize what it was going to take to get back. And then I had a pleasant visitor here recently that I look forward to seeing soon again. But that is not your business but mine. That being said, tonight, I hope you're up for quite the story, 'cause this one, it will have you on the edge of your seat, hanging in suspense. For tonight, we're covering Down. Out in 2001, written and directed by Dick Maas. You might have a few issues if you go looking for this film outside of Shudder and or AMC. For you see, two things might occur when you go looking for it. Number one, the 1981 Dutch language film De Lift may come up, which was also directed by Dick Maas. Apparently, he wanted to remake that film for a modern audience, given we had new technology and capabilities. Given I've seen this film all the way through, I can see why. Yeah, so him, Dick Maas, and Eric Thal, yes, the same Eric Thal between this film and that one, came and made a remake and put it out in 2001. What could go wrong then? Oh no! As was no laughing matter with The Shaft, as it was titled when it came out. Wide theatrical release in the United States was cut short and or canceled due to the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Entirely coincidental as well, the film also makes several references to terrorism in New York City that are not quite comfortable, including plane hijackings and a reference to Osama bin Laden destroying the World Trade Center. My mouth didn't even want to say that sentence. My apologies. So there's a second reason why you may not have heard about this film that sounds like one part half of the David Lynch brain trust of James Marshall and Naomi Watts. One, I guess, third, Edward Herman. And yes, it's Herman Munster, but no, don't think Herman Munster. Think Richard Gilmore and how he made his millions killing people down at the Millennium Building in New York, of all places. I swear this movie is missing Laura Graham and Alexa Bliss. Then it's rounded out by the weirdest B-plot, side plot that's going to hit all of you out of left field, comprising Michael Ironside and Ron Perlman. I swear, this movie is a no-holds-bar, non-stop thriller from start to finish, and you have every reason to have not heard of it, which is why I'm giving it MVP for best never heard of underrated film. Just absolutely going for it. Now, before you ask me, now Dave, how did you even find this film? I didn't. That's right. one of you did out there listening. So, Billy, if you hear me, thank you and kudos for recommending this film. It was so much fun, I had to put it on the list. So again, thanks for being a dungeon dweller, and I look forward to hearing your next recommendations. But without further ado, let's get off into this one. 'Cause, as it were, a bolt of lightning is striking. The good old lightning bolt, chopping mall called, and wants its plot like hook back. But this time it strikes the 102 floor, 73 elevator Millennium building. Jesus. The three main express elevators begin acting strangely, resulting in a guard's flashlight being crushed. Ooh. From the get-go, it is kind of exciting because you not only get an almost maiming, but you get titties too. Next up, the next day, a group of pregnant women finds out what it's like to be hotboxed between the 21st and 22nd floors. As the elevator begins heating them and rapidly descending them up and down the floors of the building, a reporter named Jennifer Evans is called in to write a report on the incident, specifically saying he wants the juicy details. Little does he know there's actual juice to this one. Also called into this are two media elevator technicians, Jeff McClellan and Mark Newman. Jeff, Eric Thal in this case, and Mark Newman are James Marshall. James Hurley, for those of you who remember Twin Peaks. But after being called down to the building, they kind of find nothing wrong with the elevator, even after checking it over quite extensively. Probably should have checked it a little better because a poor blind man and his puppy find out what a tap cane would have been useful for in this case. As the seeing eye dog is hurtled into the open doors of the elevator shaft, missing an elevator, and asked to hoist its owner back inside. Poor pooch. Then a couple of security guards that we've been following from before get called about the elevator malfunctioning and check it out. Only one of them gets a little too close and finds his head lopped off. Once again, our favorite media company men are called down there to check out the elevator, but cannot find anything wrong with it, only suggesting that they might take the elevator down for a week or more extensive maintenance and checks. To which our favorite Gilmore says absolutely no way. I swear, I wanted Lorelei to show up around the corner. Now, our favorite little reporter, Miss Evans, gets in while they're doing their exams and asks Mark, "Hey, what happened here?" To which the dumbass replied, and also replied in the worst way he could have. 9 people out of 10 make it out of an elevator alive. If that had been the catchphrase of the entire movie, This one might have been a box office screamer all on its own. But it will serve up other horrors. This causes Newman to get in trouble with his boss, Ron Perlman, also referred to as Mitchell, and the police. It also doesn't help out Newman with his partner, who was just getting over the replacement of his previous one. I wonder how that happened. Oops. Meanwhile, Jennifer visits Mark, and purely in the interest of business, visits with him about this weird-ass elevator, solely because it's a weird-ass elevator. Right. Any of us who have seen Mulholland Drive, yeah, you know where this one's going. By the way, the police chief in this, the throwaway, is that hold on, I just had it. No, where did you go? That is Dan Hedaya, who was also in Mulholland Drive as Vincent. But you're going to know him from a lot of things. He's got Dan Hedaya has 143 roles. He was in The Usual Suspects. He was in Clueless, which is how I know him. He was a lawyer in that. He was Clarissa's dad, Mel Horowitz. But he was also Vincenzo in Mulholland Drive. You know, the guy who sits next to Angelo Badalamenti as he orders his coffee and goes, "This is the girl." Yeah. He was also in Commando and a ton of other things. But in this, he's totally a throwaway detective. But after all that hullabaloo, it's determined that the man committed suicide. But, as with all horror films, the elevator isn't done with this. Now, I know some of you are going, wait a minute, Dave. Am I getting Shyamalama ding-donged right now? Is this what a twist, asshole, fixing to tell me that this is some sort of demon and that this isn't an actual killer elevator? No, I hear you. I hate it when you get Shyamalama ding-donged. I do too. I hate it when the "what a twist" crowd comes along with their "ooh, you weren't expecting these, now where are you?" I hate that. Because it's not some demon. It's not some curse on the land. The elevator is alive, and it is choosing at random to kill people. That is the story here. Stay with me. Because again, in the same day, a random rollerblading race takes place. And as they go rolling into the hotel, one of them happens to fall down right near the outside garage elevator entrance, only to be sucked in and shot out the 86th floor elevator entrance, to fall all the way to his death, hitting his buddy who he was racing in Looney Tunes-esque fashion. This is one of the funniest kills in the entire fucking movie. And of course, the police don't want to hear anything about this. That's totally suicide. Never mind, Miss Evans shows up at Mark's apartment with a tape showing the roller skater shot out of that elevator in less than 2 minutes, when it takes it less than, oh God, what did he say? I think he said it would take like 40 seconds, or no. He said, 40 seconds to a minute to go all the way up the building, and yet it shot up in 2 seconds. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I had to check my notes there. So, they're pretty sure there's something wrong with this thing, as you can tell. But nobody really wants to hear about it. As when they go to tell Mark's buddy, Jeff, he doesn't want to hear it and abruptly leaves, taking his gear with him. I wonder where he's going. Meanwhile, our would-be heroes go off investigating a name that keeps popping up. One Gunther Steinberg, a research scientist who was a member of the army who had begun experimenting with organic reproducing computer chips, but whose projects had failed over the years. Turns out, just because somebody fails a whole bunch doesn't mean they just go away. And Dr. Steinberg found employment with Meteor Elevators. Oh, poor Jeff. He ends up hanging in that elevator shaft right where his partner died. Ooh, shocker. The elevator that kills people killed somebody again. And it killed in the exact same way it's been killing. I wonder what the problem could be. Meanwhile, the police are telling stories at a school, which leads Jennifer and Mark to get a little angry. Because, of course, Jeff didn't kill himself, and he wasn't suicidal. It was the elevator. They also hear them talk about the terrorist angle, which we'll skip over because, well, we probably shouldn't, because it's how we end up with Stinger missiles inside of a tall-rise building, which, let me tell you, doesn't make sense even if there were terrorists. Not buying that. A terrorist unit and the president assemble to assess the threat on one of America's landmarks, the Millennium Building. I swear this is some sort of extra long explanation to how the Gilmores got rich. This is it. This is the backstory. Dick Moss has you, Gilmore Girls. So the terrorism unit starts loading their missiles and everything into the building to go search for what's wrong with it. Meanwhile, Jennifer and Mark try to sneak into the building and stop the threat once and for all. During the attempted entry, Jennifer just presents a badge and gets taken at the door. Meanwhile, Mark does the whole, let me attach myself to the bottom of this rolling vehicle as it enters a police blockade. And as police are standing there checking the vehicles as they come in, let them not see me as it rolls past them. Yep, that's how that works. Mark manages to get into the building, which is a relief because the building is not happy. It is fully lost its shit. It sent a full car. Since everybody's been away, it's sent, let's see, it's almost killed a little girl, which, we avoided that. It also then killed an entire floor of people. Just sent them through the roof. Just Wonka Vader style. So, Ron Perlman and Steinberg, who's played by Michael Ironside, have a conversation at this point about what's wrong with the elevator. And you're going, okay, we're now gonna finally figure out 2/3 of the way into the movie what's wrong with this damn elevator. And it really is that it has a living, breathing thing in it. So as Mark manages to climb in the shafts, and it's interspersed with this conversation, he finds it like a brain heart gooey thing implanted in the side of the building. And he figures out that it's alive and it's controlling the elevators. So, what does he do? He's a technician. He's got a screwdriver. He's got a screwdriver-shaped problem. Of course you apply screwdriver until problem is fixed, right? Right? Wrong. This thing gets pissed at him and literally throws a flame, catches an elevator on fire, the one that it killed everyone in, and then hucks it at him, as well as one of the other two, sending him like caterwailing through the middle of the building. And the only reason he's not dead is because of some bullshit. He hits a strut and manages to roll a nat 20 on his dexterity saving throw to grab the bar and not fall. Every single time. This guy is a rogue. He is playing D&D. We all noticed. So, of course, once you start hucking flaming elevators, everybody's going to notice. And the FBI also noticed that Steinberg's coming in the building to deal with this problem too. So they're a little curious about what their former employee is doing here, of all places. And even go as far as to say, maybe it wasn't terrorist. It could have been the enemy from within. Bum, 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 bum. You know how that one goes. So, as everyone gets up to the elevator, and Mark steals one of these, in just commando, every military movie ever, he steals a Stinger missile, he's got the door open, and just as he's got the door open, the dumbass scientist grabs a gun, gets in front of him and puts a gun in his face and goes, "You there, stop, or I'm gonna kill you." So what's Mark do? He fucking smacks Jeremy Ironside with a Stinger missile like this is WWE, and he just hits him with it, full body, full contact. But in all of this scramble, Steinberg grabs Jennifer and threatens her in front of the door to the elevator. A very pissed off elevator that Mark had already stabbed a few times. One that was looking for revenge. So it grabs Steinberg and pulls him into the shaft. As well as Jennifer and Mark. Who, Jennifer slides Mark the Stinger. Mark slides into the shaft with the Stinger, and just as he enters the shaft, he shoots the Stinger that blows the heart in the wall up, causing an explosion which shoots him back through the hole in one of the most terrific, should have been slow-mo sequences I've ever seen. And it may have been in slow-mo to show you all of that, It may have cut it a few times. I can't remember right at this moment. But it was mind-blowing just seeing that shot. And the second time I saw it, it was, that is the shot of the movie. Such a cool stunt. A second later, the other elevators crash, as well as Steinberger's body. And I gotta say, that's practically the end of the movie. I mean, Mark gets out of the hospital and they have a really corny kissy scene to tell you that everything's fine. As, you know, Jennifer and Mark make overtures toward each other because you are not blind and you know that these two like each other. Ew. Ew. But, again, you don't need me to tell you that. You're all big boys and girls. I really dug this film. And I really gotta say, I'm sad that we all missed it. I really hope you will give this one a chance. It is on Shudder, it is on AMC, and I'm sure you can probably find it somewhere else. It has a remake from, God, when was that one? 1983. That doesn't sound too bad. It sounds like it's practically the same film, just reshot. So, you know, feel free to check out, I guess, whichever one. I really enjoyed the 2001 version. It was some sort of helter-skelter, weird conundrum of a movie that people just decided to do. And came at a rather, I guess, bad time. But that's going to do it around the campfire this time. You creeps, ghouls, weirdos, mutant family, and dungeon dwellers, one and all. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you'll leave a like. I hope you'll subscribe for when I do this again. And as I do this, you'll get notifications if you ring the bell for when I drop new videos, notifying you every other day, practically till the end of October. Something to note, since this episode is late, and yes, I am acknowledging that it is late, I will be posting up another video today, pay attention, today, on MaXXXine and its debut later this evening. That'll be for tonight. Now, as for the 21st, we need to change plans. I know I said suitable flesh. We need to not do suitable flesh. Because I made a promise to another friend who asked me to review not one, but 2 movies either last season or 2 seasons ago. And I have been remiss in keeping that promise to them. Doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. That means on the 21st, we will be reviewing Warlock and Warlock 2. Yes, we're doing a double feature, and it's the Julian Sands 2-part of the Warlock movies. So, sorry to make you change plans and watch something else, but feel free to go watch those movies wherever you can find them. They should be pretty easy to find or get your hands on, and they're pretty cheap if you want to buy them, and I recommend buying them. I bought them. But that's going to do it, and I hope you guys will forgive me for being late. I really couldn't do anything about it. I really appreciate you for being here through all of this. But, night, sleep tight, and don't let the elevator give you a fright. Sweet dreams.